episode, I take you to meet Nicolas Bernadi. Hello!
How are you?
Good to see
Good
you. Not because his company La Boulange is my favorite bakery, but because he would be a good one to talk about business development, having led the company's $100 million sale to Starbucks last year.
Great. I'm just gonna have a very good.
So I have your cannelé, your almond croissant, and your stone.
Okay, I admit, it's also a perfect excuse to have an almond croissant in the middle of the afternoon.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you.
A native of Normandy, Nicolas has always been passionate about food. His post-MBA career has been about business development in food, first bringing Frial, the largest French frozen meal manufacturer, to the US, and then, with Bay Bread, La Boulange.
My second year of Stanford, I worked on their business plan with 3 or 4 classmates. And right after graduation, I immediately started Frial's business.
So with Frial and with La Boulange, have you been playing similar role, which is to expand the food business in the US?
Yeah. So Frial, the job was really to generate sales and create a business in itself in the US. Company in France has about 500 employees, was a very strong player, about 250 million in sales, heavy manufacturing. So the idea was to leverage the unique skills that we had in France, create some products for the US market, and at some point, if successful, build a factory in the US. And at La Boulange, when I joined, it was also to expand the business that we could generate through our assets. We had a strong regional brand with our stores, and how do you leverage that regional identity and brand into a consumer brand that is going to be sold at retail in supermarket chains? And so really the idea was we have very unique know-how in terms of product manufacturing, product development and manufacturing, how to brand them and how do we attack, and if we go to Whole Foods, how can we create a strong consumer brand in the bakery business? Business development is always about finding opportunities, knowing the assets that you have, how can you leverage those assets and transform them into products that will sell. I mean, business development, I think in itself is just about curiosity and optimism. You need to be excited by the products or the services that you represent and try to find opportunities to share them to the mass, if possible. That takes many forms, it might be through partnerships with one of your clients, one of your distributor, acquiring one of them, acquiring one of your competitors. So we were looking also at some point at acquiring some assets of competitors in the same space to get quicker scale. So at some point we were looking at a company in Southern California that had already a retail footprint and some manufacturing, bakery manufacturing. So both would be very complementary, and instead of having to build the business by yourself, acquiring some of it gives you quicker scale. So it's really being open to opportunities at every level.
In terms of functional skills, what would be required in this type of work?
I think it's as much an attitude as hard skills. And by attitude, I mean, again, the optimism, the curiosity, the seeing opportunities where they are not. And this, you don't teach that. It's something that I think you have in yourself. And then obviously, if you're looking at doing a partnership, how to build something that's compelling economically with someone. When you look at an acquisition, how do you want to structure a deal that's fair for both parties? And when you look at selling something, how do you price it in a way that you extract the most amount of value, at the same time your distributor is going to get also the fair price and the fair value. So there's definitely some analytical skills that are required to be able to structure the proper deals at every level. But I would say it's also mostly the attitude.
So a big part of Nicolas' business development mandate had been about expanding the La Boulange brand and scaling its production capacity of quality food items, sometimes by acquiring competitors. Then how did the Starbucks acquisition of La Boulange come about? What role did he play, and what did it mean to his job?
So I was in the board of La Boulange and I was a shareholder of the company. So I was involved from the beginning. In December 2012, we received a call from the head of global strategy who says, "Hey guys, I want to meet with you." So I go with Pascal and we go to take breakfast with her in one of our bakeries. And the day before, we started thinking, well, why do they want to meet with us? And so we start doing a little bit of research, see the strategies that they were disclosing to the market as a public company about increasing revenues and foot traffic and tickets within their store, owning the brands that Starbucks distributes its in own stores, and also leveraging the brands that they own to distribute them in channels where Starbucks has strong partnerships, like Kroger, Safeway, and all type of retailers. And thinking about our assets, we were really right on every single of those three buckets. We had skills to help Starbucks bring better food to the consumers. We knew how to scale good food, and we had some pretty good ideas of products that we could bring to Starbucks customers. We believed that we had a strong brand with a really strong identity that could complement very well the Starbucks brand. We came to that meeting with a few notes about that, and we listened a lot. And after 5 minutes, we looked at each other. She was telling us exactly what we had laid down, and the fit between both companies were very clear. So the process started. We had a month later dinner with Howard Schultz at Pascal's house. He came and we had the most amazing dinner. We forgot the fish in the oven. We were so passionate about Howard sharing the vision about Starbucks and the company. And the very important thing was the cultural fit also between both companies. The values that Starbucks carries, the values that La Boulange carries were really very aligned. And having a company led by its founder and having us led by its founder as well there was a very nice match between Pascal and Howard Schultz. So we then we followed the process of due diligence and going through all the acquisition steps to lead to a beautiful union.
You're still in honeymoon.
Yes, we are. I mean, we became responsible for all the food at Starbucks. So we went from a company that was a decent size, but now we're responsible for 1.7 billion, which is a food category within the US, and which is an amazing thing. We can rethink everything we want around how we want to present food to American consumers. It was the biggest Starbucks acquisition in the history of the company. I think the interesting thing for me is being on the business development side when you're in a company that's trying to grow by selling.
Yeah.
And now I'm more in a position where I need to develop products, and so I'm looking to buy products. So it's identifying suppliers or partners whom we can build product with, who we can buy product from, and who we can develop unique products with. And that's very unique. Before I was more in a position where, okay, we need to, on the retail side, how can we grow faster? On the wholesale side, how can we sell more products and grow faster? So it was mostly sell driven. And now being on the other side, I don't have to sell. We have 45 million customers coming every single week to our stores.
Now you have to offer something good, delicious.
Now we have to offer.
Yeah.
So who do we need to partner with to be able to offer those unique products? So it's finding manufacturers who have the skills, who have the passion, who have the know-how to make the products to the specs and to the standards that we're building. It requires a lot of time and education and a lot of search, for us. Where are the small gold mine manufacturers who have built manufacturing capabilities that they might not even know could make outstanding products?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Is there anything that you don't enjoy that comes with business development?
Not much, actually. There's not much, and again, that's why I think it's about the nature of the person as well. I think when you are on the sales side, there's definitely some pieces that can be a little bit more cumbersome because it's also about seduction. You know, there's a lot of when you're trying to close a deal, there's definitely there's a dating period, there's a honeymoon period, and all that sometimes can be a little bit heavy. You know, sometimes you don't want to date too much. You'd like to close the deal faster. So, you know, there's some the seduction phase can be sometimes a little bit cumbersome, you know, because
The courtship phase.
exactly. But you know, on the other side, I think it's also critical when you do business development to build trusting relationships and you know, you have to feel that the partner you're engaging in a relationship with is someone trustworthy that's going to be able to deliver what he's telling you that he's going to deliver. So it's super important to build the relationship in a fairly deep way to really make sure that you can trust the partners that you're building a relationship with.
The Starbucks deal has been a sweet one, but Nicolas' business development journey hadn't been all smooth.
Oh, there's been many turning points. I mean, you know, when I started the business Frial, nobody knew me, nobody knew the company I was representing, nobody expects you in that country, or you know, in general, nobody expects you. So when you start something or build something, you have to convince. And so I was alone here by myself, fairly backed by a good company, but you need to drive business for someone to support you. And you know, at some point it was really hard, and we started with a client who got super excited. We brought huge amount of inventory here with the promise that it would be a super successful program, and it completely failed. Distribution was terrible, people were not buying the products, and we were sitting with huge amount of inventory, and you're there, what am I gonna do? Plus sometimes you have internal problems, and I mean, it's never easy. There's no easy way to success, at least that I know of. So you make constant mistakes that you have to learn, and I think optimism and belief in what you're doing is the key to success, because if you don't believe in what you're doing, you're not going to be successful.
At this point, I wondered whether Nicolas sees his path a unique one, particular to his industry. He doesn't think so, at least not among Stanford GSBers.
In the school, I think there's many entrepreneurs who find opportunities and who navigate and who jump from one job to another and to a bigger opportunity every single day. So I think in a way that's a little bit what I've been doing. You know, after school I saw an opportunity bringing a French company to market, and after I had a mentor at Stanford Business School whom we were sharing the same passion for consumer goods, and we started a search fund together before I joined La Boulange. And you know, the connection with La Boulange came from someone at Stanford. So it's all about the network, the things that you think for, the passion that you share with people that creates new opportunities, which I think is a trait of people usually doing business development. And so in a way that creates paths that are quite similar, even if in different industries.
So far, what has been guiding your career decisions, your directions, and what will be your guidance going forward?
It's been two things. It's been the feel for the opportunity, but it's the second thing that we didn't talk about that's key to me is the team and who you're gonna join. And in every career decision that I've made, it was very much driven by people and by the leaders that I was joining. So joining La Boulange was a no-brainer because Pascal had such an amazing personality, such a charismatic leader with a personality that I had never seen in business, and you know, that's part of what made me make the move. And right now, I think we're in a company with a leader that's unbelievably charismatic, that has a great vision of a social capitalism, and it translates into every layer of the organization. So to me, having the values that I believe in embedded in a company led by someone I respect dearly is something that matters a lot as well.
On the last few bites of my almond croissant, I asked Nicolas what he's the most proud of so far. His answer completely surprised me.
I have 4 kids, so I'm pretty proud of that.
Congratulations, that's great.
Thank you.
You've been very productive.
Very boy, girl, 5, 3, and we had twins for the third. So I think we're done now. 2 girls.
Wonderful.
I think being able to balance, my personal life with work is something that I'm proud of, because it's super important to be able to have both. So.
Fantastic. Very nice chatting with you.
Yes, very nice
I
chatting
kept
with you
from
too.
eating, but
Now we can eat.
now we can eat, and then